The emergence of animals and their evolution. 1. Introduction. The question of the origin of life and how animals came into being is one of the most fundamental inquiries humans have raised since ancient times. Animals, as an essential part of the biosphere, not only play a crucial role in shaping ecosystems, but also help us understand humanity's place in nature through the study of their evolution. The story of evolution begins billions of years ago, when the young and harsh Earth, with active volcanoes and constant meteor impacts, created conditions for the formation of the first organic molecules. From these simple molecules, primitive cells gradually appeared, followed by multicellular and more complex organisms. Over millions of years, countless species emerged while many others went extinct. Studying this process is not only scientific, but also provides a deep perspective on the interaction of life with the environment, the role of genetic changes, and the impact of extinctions on the course of evolution. 2. The history of evolutionary thought. 2.1. Ancient and mythological theories. Ancient civilizations often attributed the origin of life to supernatural forces. In Mesopotamian myths, animals were created by gods. In ancient Iran, in Avestan texts, creation was also attributed to deities. The Greeks were among the first to take a scientific step. Anaximander believed life began in water. Aristotle introduced the theory of the Great Chain of Being, placing all organisms on an evolutionary ladder with humans at the top. However, in his view, species were fixed and unchanging. 2.2. Pre-Darwinian scientific background. During the Middle Ages, belief in fixed creation dominated. But in the 18th and 19th centuries, scientists such as Lamarck and Buffon suggested the mutability of species. Lamarck proposed the theory of inheritance of acquired characteristics traits gained during life could be passed on to offspring. Though disproven today, this was an important step toward evolutionary thought. 2.3. Darwin and natural selection. Charles Darwin, through his voyage to the Galapagos Islands and study of various species, proposed the theory of natural selection in his 1859 book On the Origin of Species. He demonstrated that species change over time, and that those with more adaptive traits have greater survival and reproductive success. 2.4. Modern synthesis and post-Darwinian developments. With the discovery of Mendelian genetics and the structure of DNA in the 20th century, Darwin's theory merged with genetics to form the modern evolutionary synthesis. Today, we know genetic mutations, recombination, and natural selection are the three main pillars of evolution. 3. The emergence of life on Earth. 3.1. Early Earth conditions. The Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago. Its surface conditions were extremely harsh due to meteor impacts and volcanic activity. Around 4 billion years ago, oceans formed, providing a medium for chemical reactions. 3.2. Theories on the origin of life. Primordial soup. Organic molecules formed in oceans and gradually became more complex. The Miller-Urey experiment showed that amino acids could be produced under early Earth-like conditions. Extraterrestrial origin. Some scientists argue that organic molecules were brought to Earth by meteorites. Hydrothermal vents. The chemical conditions in deep-sea vents may have provided the energy needed for the first life forms. 3.3. The first cells. The first living organisms were prokaryotes, lacking a defined nucleus. Later, eukaryotes evolved with nuclei and organelles, paving the way for multicellular organisms. 4. The transition from unicellular to multicellular life. One of the greatest leaps in the history of life was the transition from unicellular to multicellular organisms. Multicellularity offered advantages such as division of labor among cells and increased efficiency. The first simple multicellular organisms, like sponges and multicellular algae, appeared about 600 million years ago. 5. The Cambrian explosion and the emergence of early animals. Around 540 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, an unprecedented diversity of marine life appeared in what is known as the Cambrian explosion. Almost all major animal phyla, such as mollusks, Arthropods and chordates originated in this period. Trilobites were among the most important animals of this era. The Ediacaran fossils also show evidence of the first multicellular animals before the Cambrian. 6. Evolution of vertebrates. 6.1. Fish. The first vertebrates were jawless fish. Later, jawed and bony fish appeared. Some adapted to shallow water environments, laying the foundation for amphibians. 6.2. Amphibians. About 360 million years ago, lobe-finned fish transitioned to land, giving rise to the first amphibians. 6.3. Reptiles and dinosaurs. Reptiles, with their hard-shelled eggs, became independent of water. Dinosaurs dominated the Earth for over 160 million years. 6.4. Birds and mammals. Birds evolved from feathered dinosaurs, for example, Archaeopteryx fossil. Early mammals were small creatures during the dinosaur era, but diversified after their extinction. 7. The role of environment and extinctions in evolution. Evolution is not solely dependent on genetics. The environment also plays a crucial role. Throughout Earth's history, 5 major mass extinctions occurred. One of the most significant was at the end of the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago, which wiped out the dinosaurs. This extinction paved the way for the diversification of mammals. 8. Mammalian evolution and the path toward humans. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, mammals underwent great diversification. Among them, primates emerged as the common ancestors of humans and apes. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, appeared about 200,000 years ago in Africa. Distinctive human traits include a large, complex brain, language and communication abilities, tool-making and culture. 9. Genetics, DNA, and modern evolutionary theories. With the discovery of DNA by Watson and Crick in 1953, the code of life was revealed. Genetic mutations are the primary source of variation. Today, besides natural selection, other factors such as genetic drift and sexual selection are recognized as key drivers of evolution. The emerging field of epigenetics shows that environmental factors can influence gene expression without altering the DNA sequence. This perspective reveals evolution as more complex and dynamic. 10. Conclusion. The journey of life from simple molecules to today's complex organisms is a remarkable and lengthy story. Animals, through genetic changes and environmental pressures, adapted and gave rise to new species. Evolution is not a linear process, but a complex network of changes, extinctions, and new emergences. Support us with your subscriptions, likes, and encouraging comments so we can keep creating with even more passion and purpose. Every thought you share means the world to us.